Jeff Messer. I'm back, and we're hanging out with Kat, who is having some technical difficulties. Oh, there she is. She's got it going on. What's up? You're you're apparently in IT hell, right?
I lost everybody. I'm having all kinds of difficulties on this wonderful pre-Thanksgiving. Oh, technically it's not pre-Thanksgiving because it's
What is
Tuesday.
pre? Yeah, it's pre Thanksgiving. We're not eating turkey yet. You got to get your Wi-Fi fixed though. There's
I
Jack.
do.
Jack's working in the cave of doom or whatever it is going on down there. I'm gonna have to do something behind me. I'm gonna have to get all kind of my stuff going on.
I know.
So what's happening, gang? It's good to see you guys again. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Yeah,
It's great
Happy
to see you. I
Thanksgiving.
missed you.
that's it's good. It's good to be back with you guys, and just in time for my one of my favorite holidays. Thanksgiving has the best food ever.
Mine too.
I always
Yeah,
make
for
the
sure.
joke. I always make the joke that throughout the year, there's like a portion of my brain that I keep sectioned off, and that part of my brain's just sitting there going, turkey, turkey, turkey,
Yes, yes.
turkey.
I'm much more of the stuffing or the dressing. It's my thing. I could eat that
What?
all year long.
I'm
No
all
way.
about all of it. I've got my stretchy pants packed. I'm good to
That's
go.
With some
Wait.
nice brown gravy on top of everything.
Mm.
See,
Yeah.
I'm weird. I like the turkey so much that I don't want to put gravy on it. I'm not big on gravy. Just turkey.
Well,
It's like
and,
sweet
and,
cranberry sauce.
and of course, Thanksgiving being on a Thursday and New Comic Book Day being on a Wednesday, it's a great day for comic book fans to load up and totally veg out. If you're not
Yup.
if you're not watching football, and a lot of comic book fans are not football fans, so it's understandable. You got your fix. You get your total fix, and you can load up on books and a lot of good stuff. This is, by the way, this is bonus comic month because this has 5 weeks in it. So we
Oh
wound
yeah,
up with this
yeah.
weird extra. Thanksgiving is late, and there's an extra comic book day in the
I
month of November this year.
know.
So even
That's
better.
what we need. We need another day to spend money on more comics.
Duh.
Exactly. Speaking of comics, have you guys anything good at the stores recently? I brought some of my goodies since the last time I
Oh,
saw you.
I'd be
what
lying
did
if I didn't have some goodies. But
Oh, now here you go, Jack. Now have you picked this up? This is the
no,
variant cover. Legion of Superheroes #1. Brian Michael Bendis and Ryan Sook. That's your
Oh
your on ramp. It's your on ramp. It's been out for a couple of weeks now,
that's my
and
on
oh my,
ramp.
yeah, I think you'll dig this. I really do. I think you will be you'll become a fan. I mean, look at this. Toward the end of the book, here's where the bad guys rush in. Look at this page. Two big.
Oh, that is nice.
This book
That
is a
is nice.
load of fun. Oh my gosh, so much fun. You got to check it out. There's like 4 variant covers out there. It's all fun and games. It's yeah, you totally check out the Legion of Superheroes. If you're not a DC fan, this is the book to check out. So go and see it. It's a lot of fun. It's a great story.
I have old stuff here. Like I got this one not too long ago.
Oh,
It was hard to
nice.
see with the wrapper on there. But this is the second full issue with Saruman. If you're a supervillain X-Men fan, which I am.
Of course.
But a couple of things that are random is so this got to me by coincidence. Like I was given to me by someone I ordered a comic from basically.
Oh
it's
wow.
Batman in one comic.
Oh,
I'm not sure
When
how
they were doing those weird team ups, they did one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I was unaware of this, honestly. I ordered a Max comic and some other stuff from this guy a long time ago, so I guess he just knew. But as soon as I opened it, I was so excited. I was like, oh my God. So I mean, this is literally me opening it for the first time. But
That's pretty awesome.
It's Sam Keith. It's Arkham Dreams.
Okay.
And he gave me 1 and 2. So
nice.
pretty excited.
Well, and then of course the big news with the Max, and definitely celebrating for Sam Keith, the creator of the Max, but also our good friend William Messner Loebs, who scripted the original Max series. We interviewed him way back at the beginning of this whole process, back in May when I was up in Detroit. Channing Tatum is developing it as a potential movie. Now, Channing Tatum essentially got Gambit off the ground and then nothing came of it. So,
Yeah.
Jack, I know you're the Max fan. Channing Tatum, does that make any sense that he's doing this?
I'm going to say no.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
There are probably people who have like real reasons for things. I don't. For me, it's like I don't. Channing Tatum, I don't know his movies. I don't watch his stuff. So you say Max,
Well,
it
his
doesn't.
movies so far have been
Right.
Magic Mike.
He was in the first G.I. Joe movie too.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
we've skipped over some really important stuff here. So,
Yeah,
one of the
well,
things I think
we'll
would
see.
only be fair is if we point out that some of us have been drinking a little more than maybe we normally
Everybody.
do before a show.
Yeah, well, Kat is allowed to have some beverages because she's been without internet and on the phone with IT all day. So I would be drunk too, all day. I would be totally drunk too. So I can't blame her in the least.
Thank you, Jeff, for having my back.
There you go. No, it's like we should all be drunk one day doing this show. It'll be like 4 hours long, and incoherent. So why not?
This is what I will say about the Max. If you don't know the Max, I highly, highly recommend it, which I've said probably dozens of times. I think it's a great comic run. It also is a really early MTV, I think on Liquid Television, right? They did
That's where I heard it from. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I'm a big fan of the show and the comic, but something, and I was trying to just do some quick research here. I thought I had a link on the other guy producing this, supposedly with Channing Tatum, but
right.
It's very thin. Like Sam Keith. I mean, I don't know if you saw this, Jeff, but Sam Keith actually responded to somebody's message on Facebook.
Oh, did he really? Okay.
The group page for Lobes. But basically, he said, he was like, guys, I don't really know anything about this. It's great to hear that this could be, but and his response was very much like, we hear this all the time.
It gets optioned by somebody. Yeah, right.
And Channing Tatum had Gambit forever. Like, that was one of those things that I heard. It feels like 20 years ago. It was probably like 6 years ago. But
right, but he tried for a number of years
to do Gambit, and then it never really happened. And then it went into pre-production, and then it kind of, and so it looks like he's giving up and walking away. So my response is like, you had Gambit forever and nothing happened. Now you're picking up Max. My expectation is nothing will happen. I hope.
Right. Well, things get optioned all the time and never get developed beyond that stage. So this is very early and very premature. But you have to think maybe that Channing Tatum and his folks floated that out there to try and gin up some interest.
Yeah, I think that very much so. That's kind of my theory on these things when they leak it this early, is that it's a little bit of a like, that's for you, Kat. That little nerd alert.
I saw that. That's why I smiled. I'm like, oh, what did I say this time? And then I was like, wait, I haven't said anything.
But no, I think it's like a focus group, right? You leak it online, and then if people come back being like, we don't want to see this, then don't make the movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, was there fan interest in getting this made? And if there is, then more people will jump on board for sure. Hey, I'll tell you. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, it proved successful with Sonic, right? Like people spoke.
Yes.
There was a response. Everybody seems happier, except
you can't win them all.
Hey, I've got another newish comic from a couple of weeks ago that's being touted as the replacement for The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead comic abruptly came to an end a few months ago.
Yeah.
This is another one from Image Comics called Undiscovered Country. This is getting a lot of buzz right now as being the book that will replace The Walking Dead as far as fan obsession. Kind of the post-apocalyptic, you can see America is missing from the map here. I know a lot of us feel that way every day when we turn on the news, but here it is in comic book form. So we'll see. I read the first issue; it's pretty good. So I'm coming back for more. I'll keep you guys posted.
Is there like zombie, or is it just post-apocalyptic?
No zombies yet.
Okay.
That I can tell. There's still a lot of mystery behind it.
I was looking up some of the art, just kind of checking it out. I'm not seeing any zombies.
Okay.
Definitely. and you have to be careful, right? Like I'm just looking on Google, so some of these images could be from something else entirely, and wrong, text. But let me throw this one up here for you guys real quick. It's if it loads, but it's definitely like a post-apocalyptic gas mask.
Yeah, that's
we got
totally
some
from the book.
blue blood out
Ooh.
of somebody's mouth.
Well,
Oh,
it's kind of
that
like
looks interesting. How many issues are out already, Jeff?
just one, just number one. Number two will be out this month, so
Bastards.
keep an eye out for it in December. No, it's really interesting. It's like America has sort of dropped off the face of the earth, like communications blackout. Nobody knows what's going on there, and people are trying to get back into the country to find out what's happened.
Huh.
And it's a minor spoiler alert, I suppose, but I'll show you like the last page of the book, and they do this little timeline here that tells you, spoiler alert. So they do a timeline in the back of the book that sort of tells you what happened in the dark period. So a little supplemental material, but here's the last page of the book. That's right, Uncle Sam shows up.
Oh yeah, he's looking kind of evil too.
Yeah, he's got kind of the badass Uncle Sam look going on. So it's an interesting book. So Scott Snyder, always an interesting writer. He wrote Batman for a number of years at DC. One of the fan favorite Batman authors that's out there. So really, really good stuff. I'm super excited to share with you guys a bit of news. Jack, you know this because I shared it with you previously, but I officially have it in my hot little hands right now. Published. The first published title under the Masterstroke logo. This is the wraparound cover for those. Yeah. And it's 64 pages. It's a monster. It's massively thick. It's out getting delivered to the Kickstarter supporters progressively over the next month or so.
That's exciting.
Some folks have got it.
Oh my God, that's super cool.
Other folks will be getting it at some point later, but so it was exciting to open that box and sort of see.
So how many variants do you guys have?
Oh my God, too many for like this one. For this one, there's a variant that is missing the logo, but also
I think they call those virgins.
Those are virgins. That's
really?
Right. Those are virgins. So we also have the official cover.
Oh yeah,
it's not a wraparound. It's got an ad on the back.
What's that over again? What's that car? Is that a DeLorean? No. Okay.
No, I think
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh shit, they got a DeLorean. Okay. But
no. I think it's a Jaguar. I think because of the cat reference. But anyway, so there's that one. There's a black and white variant that also has the Virgin cover, which is actually my favorite.
I like that one.
This is a super image. I love this. It's my favorite.
I like that one too a lot.
We have another one that I love from artist Steve Scott. He did a variant for us. Chad Harden of Harley Quinn fame did a variant for us, and then there's a Virgin one there. But he also did a wraparound variant for us as well. And I have an image of that right here. There it is. Yeah. I know Jack, you like this one quite a bit. So folks can look for an Indiegogo page after all the Kickstarter folks get their copies. We're going to be selling copies to anybody that wants them. So keep an eye out on that. So it's super exciting. And right before we got on, I got emails from Kablam Printing in Orlando, Florida.
Kablam!
They have just finished printing the Young Robin Hood comic, and it's being shipped tomorrow.
Yeah.
So my Kickstarter project will be in my hot little hands by Saturday or Sunday.
That's exciting. I'm excited about that.
Super pumped, and also we've already started talking with a British artist about doing a regular adult Robin Hood comic book, and he started drawing some character designs, and it's all moving very quickly. We're definitely seriously into the publishing thing now. So
I'm gonna do the promo. Where it just as a reminder, everybody, if you go to our website, you will discover, and I was going to try to find I'll put our ticker back up there.
There it is.
But, if you go to our website, guys, you will see now there's a new tab that is called Comics. And if you click on it and your internet's working, I'm looking at you, Kat.
That's right. Yeah.
Don't believe it.
You'll find updates on
She's a believer.
comics that are already out, comics that are coming out, and all the different stuff that Issues With is doing.
Things that we're working on or working.
And if you're not connected to your Wi-Fi, connect to your hotspot and go get it. Duh.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there's nothing to order right now, Kat, but eventually there will be.
Sure.
And in fact, a little behind, pull back the curtain a little bit. Right before we got on today, Jack and I were we were on here working on a future comic book project.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is posted on the comic section as well. So lots of cool little things going on. Lots and lots of cool. And I tell you, the Kickstarter thing is super cool. Let me show you. I got some books from projects that I supported recently from Kickstarter. This is one right here. It's like a medieval fantasy story. Really kind of cool. Nice. This guy, the guy that's writing and producing this book, is out of Georgia. So there's a guy near Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Publishing thing. And here's a really cool weird thing I got. Check this out. The Girl with No Name.
With no name. Ooh, look, Western.
Look at
Western.
it. It's magazine size, right?
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
See? Check it out.
That seems to be like the popular thing now. Everybody's going magazine size.
This is it's a 40-page, it's a 40-page Western comic, but it's
bigger isn't better, guys.
What's that? The bigger the better?
Yeah. Necessarily bigger.
Go big or go home. I'll tell you the interesting thing about this comic, The Girl with No Name comic, is the publisher.
Yeah.
Check it out right down here at the bottom.
I love how we all lean in. Oh yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah.
Don't look at me. My forehead gets big when I lean in.
I made you move.
My ugly gets big when I lean in.
Legion M, a fan-owned or the fan-supported film company, produced this as a one-shot comic book on Kickstarter, and I kid you not, for this 40-page comic book, they raised over $100,000 on Kickstarter.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, people kind of poo-poo the Kickstarter system, but what they don't realize is a lot of people who are using it aren't using it because they don't have access to funds. They're using it as a way to build momentum and to get everybody aware of it and to pre-sell. You're basically doing pre-sales.
Yeah,
absolutely. And this is almost serves as a trailer for the movie that's not yet been made.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a great way to explain it. I like that, Jeff. Look at you.
Yeah. Well,
blowing my simple mind.
I read it, and I went, I feel like I just watched like a 5-minute trailer.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I was like, that's what they wanted. That's exactly what they wanted. So hats off to them for that. Last thing I want to share, I just got this in the mail a couple of days ago. Actually, this is great because it came with like a giant poster. I haven't even folded it out yet. It came with a bookmark. It actually came with 2 bookmarks, a sticker. Let me see if I can get it. There you go, sticker.
Oh, I like stickers.
And like a little art print of the character. And folks might recognize this amongst us. Our fans and followers won't recognize it yet because they haven't seen the interview from Issues With this past summer. Ron Randall, his comic character Trekker. This is the new, and this is crazy. Look at this. This is a slip cover.
Ooh.
Here's the book. It's a collection. It's a full graphic novel. Trekker.
I wish I could do a slow-mo replay of that. That was sexy.
Just go back and watch it again and again and again. I'll never get it right.
Baby.
It's like
but who does that anymore?
No one.
No, this is crazy, and this is like a really nice. It folds out into like a mini poster.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's he did a first-class job. Ron Randall knows what he's doing when it comes to these Kickstarters, and in fact, he's getting ready to launch another one in January that is going to collect all of the previously published, like from way back the beginnings of Trekker as a character, stuff that people can't get anymore. He's doing a hardcover omnibus. Yeah. and not necessarily a spoiler alert. This is a preview. He's going to be on the show in December, talking with us about all of these projects. So the great Ron Randall, before you see him in Issues With, is going to come and hang out on the breakdown. Even though timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, we interviewed him 6 months ago for Issues With, but now he's going to be on the breakdown. So it'll be in the future, but from the past. Or in the past from the future. One of the two.
If I'm invited, I won't drink. Don't worry about it.
And I know we've done some other stuff from them. This is
that's from Carl Kiesel with Tom Drummond.
Yeah. Somewhere we've got a stack of things that I think Randall did for us.
Yeah.
So I'll have to find those. I thought this had some with it, but it doesn't. But so I know we got prizes for that. I will remind people we recently had somebody win a prize without them realizing that they were participating in a competition of sorts. And so I'm going to remind people at home that you should follow us and like us on Facebook, and you should pay attention because every once in a while, I'm just going to throw this up here. You know what Facebook looks like, right?
Yep.
Go check it out because we'll post things. Look, there we are. Look, that was crazy.
Oh my God. Don't forget to tell them our new thing too.
So we posted a comment about The Mandalorian, and it was false. It was bait. I literally referred to The Mandalorian as Boba Fett just to get a response.
I know. Such a nerd.
A week or two, and suddenly, I'm not going to say his name, just we'll let people keep some privacy. But one of our followers chimed in and was like, "That's not Boba Fett," and I was like, "Finally!" So he actually
somebody caught it. Yes,
a big package. I'm not going to say it because he's probably watching, and I want to be a surprise. But there's autographed comics, there's posters, there's a couple of things he's gonna get.
Let people know we're on Twitter. We're tweeting now.
There you go.
Tweeting now.
That's
right.
We are on Twitter. I would love to tell you what our name is right now, but dang it, I framed. It's like the breakdowns / the show.
No. Here we go, Kat. It's at the real
it's
breakdown.
Something, but we're on Twitter, so hashtag the breakdown with all your questions. Man, why did I drink this much? Because now I can't remember things. I'm Catherine, right? You're Jeff, right? This is
that's close. You're close. You're very close.
It's at breakdown_show. Just breakdown
show on Twitter.
On Twitter. And we're letting Kat just do that free.
It's me.
It is. Okay, it is like the greatest Twitter account ever, except for at real Donald Trump. Okay, believe me.
It's huge.
Great Twitter.
It's huge. I don't do impressions. In my head, I feel like I sound like them, but I totally don't. But
that's all right. Here's the reality: is nobody does an impression of Donald Trump. Everybody does an impression of Alec Baldwin doing an impression of Donald Trump. So that's where we are in society. Ookie.
True.
I love all three.
We're not political on here at all.
And don't look at our Twitter if you get offended easily or.
Oh God, please don't, because I'm a little Hispanic female, and if you get offended, don't come near my Twitter. No.
Wait, you're Hispanic?
Instagram.
Oh no, I'm not Hispanic. I'm totally 100% white American. That's me.
All right. So Jack and I are Norwegian, so it's all good.
I know I'm really pale, but
no.
I just stayed out in the sun too long. I'm totally.
Hey, look, the British Isles are much further north than people think, so there's a reason for us being pale.
I will throw in there. We were talking about new stuff. So if you don't have a guy. And this is not gender specific, could be female, but I refer to it as your guy at your local comic shop.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Everyone has that person that checks them out and kind of you chat them up and they get a vibe for what you're reading. And these are unsung heroes. They randomly pull something and put it in your box, and you don't even ask for it and you end up buying it. And so this is so I've had two recently. So this is because I'm reading Absolute Carnage. He grabbed Weapon, which this throws me off with Weapon Plus.
Weapon Plus. Sure it's not Weapon X with a typo?
No. Unless it's I mean, it literally says Weapon Plus, and it's a
Oh,
plus.
Weapon Plus. Yeah, it's like,
But,
the Disney Plus of
and
artillery.
then we've got the Red Goblin. Now, Red Goblin I had actually heard of more than once. People had either mentioned it in passing or a lot of articles that were talking about what was going on with Carnage and that whole world. The big thing I kept hearing is like, if you want to look at something new coming up that you should pay attention to, that Red Goblin is one of them. You're back!
She's back. There she is.
Sorry.
She's on the move. I don't know.
I know you're on the move a lot.
Somebody had a birthday. Look at that. We're getting to see all of Kat's house here. Happy birthday. Yeah.
There's always a birthday sign up because there's always somebody's birthday. I'm really sorry, Jack. I really didn't mean to interrupt your thing. I swear I'll never drink again on this show.
No. While we have you on the move, I want to see your collection. You boasted.
Yeah, go find the pops. Go find the pops.
Oh, that's easy. So here is all the pops right there. That's
not all of them. That's not all of them.
There's pops all up on there.
Wow. Okay.
My husband had to build that shelf, and he was like so pissed off, but he did it anyway because he loves me. And there's pops right here, and oh, the room's dark. I swear to God, there's light around here somewhere. And there's pops here. Here's my Back to the Future shrine. I swear to God, I'm never drinking on the show again. That's a true story.
And I'm going to make you give us a tour of your house every time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we're back to my studio where there's more freaking pops. Pops galore. It's a wonderful pop village.
I have a question. Is the green screen positioned that way because it's better for the green screen or because you're being quarantined off?
Yeah.
So I'm being quarantined off. I would show you the rest, but anyway. So yeah, I'm quarantined.
Yeah, it is. Let's not take a tour of Kat's nightstand. Let's save something.
No.
In the top drawer, making the strange sound.
It's not a pop, but it'll make. Well, never mind.
So. Just a reminder, it is the holidays.
It is.
Oh yes. Yeah. Speaking of holidays and pops, what are the hot pops for this Christmas season? Do we have any hot ones coming out? And first of all, let me qualify that I've heard some pop hacks out there. Not like hacks as in like hackish behavior, but like people who are like saying, hey, if you want a baby Yoda, just go buy the pop of Yoda, which looks like Baby Yoda.
Don't do it. No.
Don't do it because they don't have the merch out yet for The Mandalorian, apparently. Oh. Yes. In time for Christmas? Maybe. Kat's frozen against the
Yeah, I'm not taking her down either. I like that frozen. Wait, hold on.
It's got that slurry kind of drunk look to it. Well, there you
go. She'll be back. But yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't follow the pop stuff. I have seen some of those hacks you're talking about, though, where it was like, take this one, and you can paint something, and then you realize that it looks exactly like something else.
Exactly, because they're pretty simplistic overall, in their look. But I mean, the thing is that I don't collect pops per se, but there've been a few times that I've totally geeked out, and I don't own them, but the James Bond pops that came out a couple of years ago. The Sean Connery Bond with the white tux.
Oh yeah, I've seen that randomly.
Aces. I do own.
I'd want Odd Job. I would want Odd
Job one is great. There's a Roger Moore one out. I'm waiting for them to do the whole run of Bonds, and I'll go get them all. But those were really, really cool. There's like an Indiana Jones one that was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from a few years ago. That's like freaking impossible to get.
Oh, right.
As soon as they release like a straight up Indiana Jones one, I'll get that one. That'll be.
I never knew about this until you told me that, and you and Kat both have talked about these like exclusive only at pops, and I'm like, and I've seen it where I like after you told me I Googled it. I remember I found like a Wolverine one where they wanted like hundreds of dollars.
It's insane.
Get out of here, man.
Yeah, no, the pop thing is just psychotic, and and it drives people to drink, as we can see from Kat. The obsession with pops.
Are you allowed to pick on Kat when she's not here, or is that like
she's frozen? She's frozen in carbonite to keep on point. Her phone is frozen her in carbonite.
I tried to look up some comic book Thanksgiving art.
Oh, I love those. The Fantastic Four one is a favorite of mine. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a classic one. I feel like it's a little less poking fun actually than the one on the right. But
Yeah.
It's interesting, when I started looking them up, there were not as many as I thought there would be. I thought like I'd type it in and all of them would come flying in. And
It's not really a comic book kind of holiday. You'll get a lot of, back in the 70s especially, they did a lot of Christmas themed comics. Uh-oh. Cat's back.
Cat, are you okay?
No, thank God I restocked on liquor, and I was like, the kids are gonna be home for a while. I'm gonna need liquor to survive, and thank God, because I just not having internet is the worst thing in the world.
Drinking makes it easier.
Survive.
All right, Kat. What is your Christmas pop wish list? Do you have
What's
a
my
pop
what? What is my
want
what
a
did you
pop
say?
for Christmas?
Oh
What's
my
on
God,
your
where
pop?
did he go? Oh no, did I lose you guys again?
No, we're here. We're
Oh.
here.
We're here. Yeah.
So,
No, so I saw the Beavis and Butthead. Yes, that was great.
Kat,
Yes.
can you
she's
tell me what your pop dream holiday?
Christmas. Yeah. With your Christmas shoppers, I want to buy you a pop.
If I could have a holiday pop, it's the Groot one. The Groot that's with the lights around him, and he's got a little
Oh.
speaker.
Oh yeah. My stepdaughter's got a Chewbacca one that has lights around him.
Yeah, there is, but Groot is sitting down, Chewbacca's standing up.
Oh,
true. Yeah.
Is it Baby Groot or Groot?
It's baby Groot.
It's baby Groot, baby Yoda. This whole market for babies is just getting out of hand. Beavis and Butthead, that's not for babies. No.
No, this is one of the few comic book Thanksgiving covers that I found. It made me laugh.
What is that one? What does it feel like there's some pedophilia or child rape about to happen?
Okay. I don't know. For those of you who watch this show, that little boy specifically, I think you always kind of assume something bad had happened to him. Something awful was happening in his household.
It looks like something's about to happen.
I don't remember his name, but they would like go to his house and they would break everything in his house and then complain that he didn't have enough, while they're like setting the kitchen on fire. But yeah, so the holiday comics were thin and far between, but I will say that Thanksgiving is exciting from a geeky standpoint, if for no other reason, if you're a nerd, because you know that there's gonna be Star Wars stuff, and now we're in Mandalorian, but you kind of have that added bonus of now we have Star Wars films.
Yep, and I got my tickets for December 19th at 7:30. I purchased them a couple of days ago.
Me too. I got my tickets too. I got mine for free though, Jeff. Boom.
All right. So what did you have to do to get them for free? Not that I would do the same thing.
So what happened was I lifted up my shirt. No, I'm just kidding. There was no boobage showing. So we went to go see the Joker movie, and the whole theater had a blackout. And then when they started the film, the lights and everything back up again, the movie had progressed and everybody freaked the fuck out. So they gave everybody in the theater free tickets. So we were like, boom, done and done. This is our Star Wars tickets. Yay,
nice.
Oh, I bet. Nice. Man, I won't be shocked if you get there and they're like, oh yeah, you can't use these.
That's true.
No. They said because we were like, pause and time out. We're coming back for Star Wars, and they were like, okay,
yeah,
because someone may have started a mini riot in the movie theater.
Oh, sober too,
not saying any. I have anger issues. I was highly pissed when the movie progressed, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? So they were like, oh, let's shut this bitch up. Whatever she wants, she gets.
There you go. Yeah. Norma Raying up in the house there.
I think we're going to have to create a new competition where the prize is it's like we're going to get Kat drunk and make you go see a movie with her.
Oh God. That's a prize?
We'll send you with like a foam helmet and some foam boxing gloves. Maybe one of those foam swords,
No.
All right. Did you at least go back and see Joker like for real?
Oh yeah, no, they rewound the whole thing.
Oh.
Like they rewound it, and I
okay,
told
okay.
them where to stop, and they like started from there.
I told
I was
them
like, right there.
stop.
Just
Yeah, I
give
was
me the
like,
remote. I'll do it. Pause.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So
so
that
what
was
do
the
you
thing.
so what do you guys think? You think he's going to get nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor?
It would have to like they.
Wait,
It
Joker?
really,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It would have to. Like, it
Totally.
would really piss me off because I don't know what the Academy is doing with their life, but they've missed so many opportunities. And I could go on a crazy rant about the award ceremony itself, but we'll save that for another day.
Right. We'll do an
And,
Oscar special show. Yeah.
but it would have to shut up with the nerd alert. Yes, we know I'm a nerd. God, I'm wearing a Pokemon shirt for crying out loud. Of course I'm a nerd.
You are
You don't
wearing
know by now.
Have to change that to Drunk Nerd Alert.
I got to make a new one. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Well-
swear to God, I'm never getting drunk again on the show. Like, I feel so embarrassed. I'm like,
I mean,
in my head, sober Cat's going, shut up. But like, drunk Cat is on the forefront, and it's like, no, keep spewing out bullshit. So, you know.
She's taking control. She's taking control. But she's sober enough to agree the Joker's probably deserving of a Best Picture nomination.
yeah, I think so. Now the question is, what are your expectations though? Just in the most broad way, we can do a to Z or a 1 through 10 score. Your expectations on the next Star Wars?
Solid 9.
Oh yeah,
You're going 9? You see,
Yeah.
I was gonna go 8.5.
Oh, see, we're pretty simpatico on that though. See, there's no way that super nerd J.J. Abrams doesn't craft this thing into as close to a home run as humanly possible.
Yeah.
I think he's just too good as a craftsman to not, and we're seeing it now from Jon Favreau and The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He knows how to hit every beat of fan service there is, and people not even realize that he's hitting them with it.
yeah.
Oh my God, 100%. Like, I was nerdgasming all over The Mandalorian. I was like, this show is the shit. Like,
Yeah.
it was like boom, 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 and I'm like, love it, love it, love it, love it, nerdgasm. Like,
Yeah,
it's so true.
complaints. I would say, like, do you guys wish that the episodes were a little longer?
Oh, 100%.
Well, I mean, yes and no, but here's the thing: is that if I got to the end of an episode and felt like they cut it short, then yeah. But so far, every episode, I've been like, damn, they fit a lot in there. Like they told.
Yeah.
That's
they
true.
told the story they needed to tell. Like that second episode was only 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
But I
So-
kid you not, that may be one of the most perfect pieces of television I've seen in a long time. Not only was it Star Wars, they managed to basically nerd check Batman 66 when he's climbing up the side of the sandcrawler.
Oh yeah.
Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade when he's hanging off the side of the sandcrawler. The A-Team, for crying out loud, when they're rebuilding his ship. And it had Lone Wolf and Cub mixed in there, and it was like it had everything. He was just throwing nerd stuff in.
Selfish Meat wants it to be longer, but I get why it's shorter. It's only 8 episodes that we're getting, and it's TV. Well, not quality. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's made for TV, but it's like movie budget. You know what I mean? I get why it's shorter, but the reason why I would want it longer is because I'm selfish and greedy and all that.
Right.
All that. Yes.
Well, I think it's designed too so that when you get to the end of episode 8, 2 days after Christmas, you will go back and watch all 8 of them in a row, boom, 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 and realize that it's one big story.
Right.
Because I think the third episode we just saw last week is the end of the first act of the story overall.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had that same vibe that they're like you almost could have taken those first 3 and put them in like one long episode. It was like
true. Okay.
Yeah. Star Wars. Here's a classic storytelling structure thing. If you go back and watch all of the Star Wars movies, they're all 3 acts.
Yeah.
They're 3 distinct acts of things that happen.
Oh.
Boom, boom, boom. Empire Strikes Back is Hoth, Dagobah / asteroids, and then Cloud City. The first movie is Tatooine, the Death Star, the final battle. Return of the Jedi is Tatooine, kind of that middle section with everybody getting their shit together, and then the final battle. So
So-
all of the movies have a 3-act structure. So I
That
expect
makes
that
sense.
The Mandalorian is going to be, the next 2 episodes will be the middle act, and then it'll ramp up in the final 3.
So just throw this out there to anybody who's been following us. If you see this particular video here, which is actually Freddie, of all people, Freddie Prinze Jr. going off on a rant.
Yes.
I know it sounds silly, but I highly recommend you check out that video
Yeah.
on our Facebook, because he brings up some very interesting ideas that he supposedly got from Lucas about how the Force works in terms of story.
Yeah.
And that you can predict certain things. So I'd be interested if anybody has theories based on that information. If you watch that Freddie Prinze Jr., which last time somebody said his name.
Well, he was a voice actor on one of the animated shows, the Star Wars Rebels show.
Yeah.
He was like the lead, the male lead in that. So he's deep into that universe now.
So I will say, he's clearly took it seriously. He had a perspective on why things happen and a calculation on what might happen in the next film. And it got my brain buzzing. I started thinking about, well, what do I really think is going to happen in the next one? But I will say I'm excited to go see it. It'll be nice to see. It's supposed to be the end, right, of this trilogy.
Right. It wraps up all 9 movies. I mean, it wraps up the whole story.
Yeah.
Everything.
I'm like, is this a 3-hour movie? Do we know the runtime yet?
No, it's only 2 hours and 20 minutes. JJ just announced it yesterday. Yeah. He announced yesterday they finished cutting the film a couple of days ago. So he was on Good Morning America yesterday. They showed a 30-second scene from apparently the beginning of the movie, which was pretty badass. You can find it out there on. I shared it. I shared it on our page, so people can find it there. I think it's going to be very well crafted. I think The Last Jedi was not. Yeah, there it is. That's the clip.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we can go 30 seconds. Jack, can we run that? Is that fair?
I mean, nobody's stopping me.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, Kat, we can all react.
Oh, it doesn't want to do it in full screen.
Oh no, damn Disney! They control everything. Well, also, no, it's going to be just completely garbage, isn't it?
Well,
but anyway, people can go to the Facebook page and watch the video. It's up there, and apparently J.J. Abrams said that somebody stole one of the scripts for the movie and put it on eBay, but Disney bought it before it could get out there. So there's like all kinds of like interesting little tidbits being dropped now.
Yeah.
But here's a question. Here's a question for the collective. We've seen the Mandalorian episodes. This Baby Yoda thing throws such a curveball into Star Wars in general.
Does it?
Well, I'm trying to explain it. I mean, the explanation for it, it's a better mystery than anything we've seen since.
I feel like they missed this, though. Like, this information, we lost her again. That was like a angry, my internet!
She didn't know. Yeah.
So this is what I've seen, and I'm convinced is what's going on. So I am going to put up spoiler alert.
There we go. Yeah.
This is definitely a spoiler alert if you don't have some of this information already. But basically, at whatever point, Lucas had determined that he would never tell us anything about Yoda, his race, where his people come from, and he stuck to that. And so I was reading a bunch of stuff about he had been seen, or people knew that he was involved in The Mandalorian, and they weren't really sure why, because he wasn't really involved. And then when Yoda showed up, it all kind of became clear. He was there directing them on what they can and can't tell us about Yoda.
Sure,
and people
only he knows. Only he knows.
But like, what else were you going to call it? So here's the big key. If you remember the scene when in Mandalorian, I guess is it episode 2, when he takes the job, and he walks into the room and there's stormtroopers, and
that's episode, the first episode,
first episode. And so this scientist walks in and he pulls his gun on this scientist.
Right.
This is a big scene because it's cool. He pulls his gun out and he's kind of like, no, F you, like, fuck you, I'll shoot everybody in the room. And they're like, well, we blah, blah, blah. So they put their guns down, but if you look at that scientist, he has an emblem.
Right. Yes.
the emblem of the people who made the clones.
Yes.
And this has kind of become the overwhelming theory that I keep hearing, is that it's not a baby Yoda in the sense that it's some other version or some other member of his species, but that it's actually a clone.
Actually a clone. Yeah, I think that's probably the case.
I think so. I'm convinced that that has to be it, because it would stick true to everything that Lucas has always said about not wanting to give up too much information, and his appearance on set at certain times. And
Right. They're consulting with him because they want to get it right.
Right. And
Yeah.
there's lawsuits, I think, if you cross certain lines. I think he is in a position where he owns that property. And so if they revealed certain things, they would be sued. But
Well, and it goes back to it goes back to episode 2 of the Star Wars movies, Attack of the Clones, when they discover the clone facility that a rogue Jedi had secretly, commissioned. Like nobody, if you remember, the whole Jedi Council were like, where did all these clones come from? It's like, Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas or something like that.
Right.
He was the one who did this. But this is what's really tripping me out, is that if JJ is going to tie everything together in the final movie, does this Yoda clone in The Mandalorian, is this part of a grand scheme? How does this fit into it? Are we to take that if somehow they were cloning Jedi back in the day, where they have DNA from all of the Jedi Masters,
right.
Is Rey perhaps a clone? Was Palpatine a clone?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then that would explain how the Emperor isn't dead.
Exactly. The one that died was a clone, and the real Emperor has been in hiding ever since.
Right. Or this is a clone, and
this is a clone. Yeah.
So that's theory. It brings up all those questions about like who first started the cloning, but also how did they get the DNA from
exactly. Yeah.
And it's interesting because he's 50 years old, but he's like baby size. So
but here's the twist on that. Apparently, I was listening to a Star Wars podcast like a nerd, but apparently, there you go. I was waiting for it. In episode 2, they discuss that the Jango Fett DNA they were using to make the clones, they were speeding up the aging process, so they aged twice as fast as normal humans, so they could grow them quicker. And in the timeline, the baby Yoda, as we're calling it, to be 50 years old, when in fact the clones, that whole cloning thing was only about 25 years ago in the timeline, but it would make sense if he was aging twice as fast.
Right.
Does that make sense? Am I being too obscure?
I mean,
if you follow the timeline, it could be that sometime around the middle of the first trilogy, episodes 1 through 3, is when they cloned Yoda.
Right. Well,
they got his DNA.
But it's interesting. So is his growth based on the cloning or based on his species, a combination of the two?
We don't know.
And here's really what I'm getting at. Does this mean he's going to grow fast enough that we'll see a adult Yoda by the end of The Mandalorian season 1? That's kind of what I'm wondering. Is this, or is he going to stay like, are we basically getting baby Groot, or?
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. Could it be that? And here's another thing that makes me think it's a clone real quick. And somebody else pointed this out too. That shot's not the best, but above his left eyebrow is like a bump of some sort, like a little wart or a mole that can barely be seen on the baby Yoda, but is prominent on adult Yoda. So they matched that puppet to the existing. Yeah. So it's like it's like he bears some of the distinct markers of Yoda to indicate that it is Yoda, or at least a clone. It's exactly identical. So fan conspiracies go nuts. But
I will say that with a lot of stuff, it would be pointless to have the fan theory, right? But with all the books and all the comics and all the games, like they give us a lot to work with. If you're a fan, a lot of stuff usually turns out to be true. It's rare that like fan theories come out that have no basis, unless they're being silly. I mean, my favorite fan theory is still that what's his name? The awful Mises. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar. I can't even remember his name. I've blanked his name from my memory. But there's this fan theory that Jar Jar Binks is actually the top Sith.
Oh, right. Yeah. That they think he's the ultimate evil. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of those things I'm like, if it maybe that wasn't the original thinking, but it'd be a great way to save a horrible idea.
Well, yeah, if they're gonna if JJ brings everything together in the end, how are we gonna resolve Jar Jar, right?
Yeah.
But see that here's my thing about it too is there's no way that Disney and the Mandalorian show, there's no way they would have gotten approval to introduce this character if it went too far out of the lines of what's being told in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
There had to be some conspiring going on between J.J. Abrams and Favreau, the people making Rise of Skywalker, the people making Mandalorian, because it all has to fit together and make sense.
Do we know what's besides shows? What movies? Is there any talk of other? There is, isn't there, of other Star Wars movies?
That's been pushed to the back a little bit, but the speculation that I'm hearing out in the fan community is that they think Kathleen Kennedy is going to take a lesser role in the films next year. She'll still run Lucasfilm, but she's not going to be making the hard decisions. And that's where Kevin Feige's name came in, because apparently he went to Disney and basically said, "Hey, when can I make one of these Star Wars movies?" And they were like, "What? You want to do one of those?" But also, there's a lot of nerd buzz out there saying that maybe the Mandalorian success means that Jon Favreau will get booted up to a higher position in Lucasfilm and Disney.
I think I think after the success of this, how anything he wants to do, I don't know why they would say no.
Yeah. I think Kevin Feige and Jon Favreau are going to be players, but the Benioff and Weiss, the guys who did Game of Thrones, they've already bailed out of their proposed Star Wars movies.
Right.
The Obi-Wan movie has now become an Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus that everybody wanted. Ryan Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, seems to be stalling from telling people that he's not going to be doing any more Star Wars. But if you remember, 2 years ago, they announced he was going to be given his own trilogy of films. And that got silenced pretty quickly after the fans revolted over The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So I think it's a reboot. I think they're doing a reboot, and The Mandalorian may have just given them the juice to kind of go in a different direction.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Well, we lost Kat. She's
and
I have a sneaking suspicion she used up her data. She was probably on her data.
Yeah, either that she either used up her data or her tequila. Either one. I'm not sure which ran out first.
Like Black Russians or White Russians or something. There was maybe an Irish cream. It looked heavy. But we want to wish everybody a happy holiday.
Absolutely, yeah. We got deep in the woods there on some of that stuff. Last question, Jack. Last question. Star Wars nerd question for people to ponder, because we've got less than a month now. Is the Death Star rubble, which we assume is what we find Palpatine living in, is it on the planet Endor? And if so, are we going to get Ewoks? Are we getting Ewoks? Why wouldn't they? Right?
I think because Ewoks have left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Yeah, so did Jar Jar. But I mean, Ewoks. But here's the thing: I think people are more fond of Ewoks than they are of Jar Jar.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, with the cute factor of Baby Yoda being popular, they might be like,
but we've already got Porgs or Porgies or whatever.
Yeah.
We've got Baby Yoda. I don't think they're feeling the need to bring any other cuteness involved. I think they're going to capitalize on Baby Yoda more than anything.
If they're on Endor, though, they got to show Ewoks, right?
Yeah, unless they're like, oh, they were all dead after.
Well, there's that fan theory that's like, yeah, when the Death Star blew up, it would have rained like debris.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the science of it. Everything.
This is not Star Trek. There's no science here.
But no, I don't. I'll be curious to see what people say on Facebook and social media, because I haven't heard a lot of talk about Ewoks. But that's an interesting point. I think the question has been, where is that? Are we to believe that it is maybe a slightly more adjacent, farther off planet, and that those pieces floated there and then crashed down? I mean, the trailer is brilliantly done because they're giving you those little images to
Oh, and
spawn.
they're giving you nothing at the same time.
Yeah, and you have no idea what's going on.
No idea.
I'm still mad about the opening shot in the first teaser thing they showed where it's just her in the desert and this ship thing's coming at her or whatever you want to call it. And she's waiting, and then she kind of flips over. And I was like, that's yeah.
Well, no, and thanks to J.J. Abrams on Good Morning America showing that clip, he has told us that all of that desert stuff is at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
So that's like a little bit of a giveaway that helps fans conspire.
I mean, there's like horses with extra legs. There's a lot happening, and
so much.
Yeah.
But here's my prediction: if they get to the planet Endor, and that's where that wreckage is.
Yeah, that there'll be Ewoks.
And if they show Ewoks suddenly pop out of the woods, the audience is going to go nuts. That's my prediction. They will go completely nuts.
I will predict that if we see Ewoks, we will see a more gritty, grungy version of them.
Yep, I agree with you there.
I'm excited that they will be like the Ewoks have grown a little and they've really had a hardship and they won't come back as cute.
They're going to be. There was this somebody, and I think it was in a pitch meeting at one of the Star Wars, back in the day. They were pitching the idea of telling a story, maybe in a comic book. The idea of like somebody comes into the cantina and is like, I'm looking for the best. I'm looking for the best killer out there, and I need to da-da-da-da. And they point him over to a corner booth, and it's just like a raggedy old Ewok with a patch sharpening his spear. And it's like, yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome to see like a badass bounty hunter Ewok?
Now I want to see that, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm like, and apparently it got turned down because they're like, no, we're not doing that with the Ewoks. But I think that they could be turned into real savages. I mean, they were going to eat them. Remember, they were going to eat them.
Yeah, they were going to eat them. And that's one of those things that there's always that joke. Like if you see the Family Guy version of Star Wars, they always kind of make these jokes about like, wait, they were about to eat us. Yeah. And now it's like chomp chomp, and then we all doing a dance.
We're all buddies now.
His hair all of a sudden, and we just kind of moved past that we were going to eat you. Yeah. But I mean, there's talk about it's not Feige. It's somebody was talking about doing another Chewbacca Christmas special. Like,
well, they Jon Favreau name checked it in the first episode of The Mandalorian.
Oh, really?
The blue alien was talking about getting home in time for Life Day.
So there's
which is a Thanksgiving tradition, by the way. That came out this time of year in 1979, I think. 78.
The original
the Christmas special, yeah.
So if you guys haven't seen it, we just did something amazing for you. Go Google or YouTube the Chewbacca Christmas special. It's painful and amazing at the same time.
You can't take your eyes off of it. The first 30 minutes is all in Wookiee with no subtitles. It's insane.
And
B. Arthur
lingerie. The wife wearing like lingerie or something. She was like a nightie or something. It just doesn't make sense.
She was watching like a video talking about the Jefferson Starship and B. Arthur are in it. I mean, that's the kind of show it is. So go right now to YouTube and watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. The most embarrassing performances by Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill you will ever see in your life. It's gold.
It's so bad, it's good. I'm out of here, guys. This is Jack, your producer director. Kat, we missed you. We hope you're okay.
Kat, the falling down drunk cat fell down, and so we'll see if she picks herself back up. I'm Jeff. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll see you back here next time for more of the breakdown.